Okay, we back when Zechariah 9 and 9 because we had read in Matthew 21 and 5 how Mashiach Shai is going to be coming in the town on a colt, right? So now, or it has. Listen what it says in Zechariah 9 and 9. This is where it's coming from. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, O 12 tribes of Israel. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation. Lowly, meaning he's humble, and riding upon an ass and upon a colt, the fowl of an ass, right? So, going back to Matthew 21 and 5, we see this prophecy being fulfilled. Well, let's read verse 4. All this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, tell you the daughters of Zion, behold, let's go up from there. Matthew 21, Mashiach was saying to the disciples in verse 2, saying unto them, go unto the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied, and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them unto me. Right? And if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, the master have need of them, and straightway he will send them. Just tell them that the master have need of them. Mashiach Yahushua have need of them. And he said he's going to send them. All this was done that it might be fulfilled, what we just read in Zechariah 9 and 9, which was spoken by the prophet. That's why I say, you who don't believe in the New Testament, that's all he had to go by was the law and the prophets. All this was done, verse 4, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh unto thee meek, that's humble, and sitting upon an ass, and a colt the fowl of an ass. And the disciples went and did as the Mashiach commanded them, and bought the ass and the colt, and put on them their clothes, and they set him upon thereon. And a very great multitude spread their garments in the way. Others cut down branches from the trees and strawed them in the way. They laying all this down before him. And the multitudes that went before that followed cried, saying, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Most High. Hosanna is in the highest. Okay. And when he was coming to Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, who is this? Because they're making a big uproar. Say, who is this? And the multitude said, this is a Mashiach Yahushua, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. And the Mashiach Yahushua went into the temple of the Most High and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tables of the money changers. He still, wait a minute. Verse 5. Tell you the daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh unto thee, meek, humble, right? And seated upon an ass, and a colt, the fowl of an ass, right? He coming in humble as could be. But when he came into the temple, verse 12, and Yahushua went into the temple of the Most High and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tables of the money changers. They was making money. He overthrew the tables, but he humble. Understand? In the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, it is written. Where is it written, y'all? Where is it written? What is written? My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. See, that's where, he's only have, like I say, the law and the prophets to deal with. That's it. That's it. That's why I say it is written. Somewhere. in the Old Testament, y'all. In the old scrolls, that's all he had to go by. That's why he said, it is written. It is written, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And that was during the Passover when they did that. And they're supposed to be selling on the Passover. It's a Sabbath. But that's what they were doing. That's why he went in there with his humble self and overthrew the tables and took away their money. They was making money. Look at Isaiah 56:7. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. See, house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. Mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. You see? Look at Jeremiah 7 and verse 11. Is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, said the Most High. See? So he's fulfilling what it is that's written in the Old Testament. Because that's all he had to go by was the law and the prophets. That's it. Go to Matthew 18 and verse 2. Let's read verse 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Mashiach, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? So they want to know who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And the Mashiach called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. So he called a little child over and set that little child in the midst of them. Why would they want to know who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? As long as you make it. They should be thinking, that's how I think. How you think? You want to know who's the greatest in the kingdom? You gonna be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? What position you gonna have in the kingdom of heaven, right? I asked what number are you at 144,000? Ain't nobody said anything. Let brothers and sisters tell it. They already in the kingdom. They already know they made it to the kingdom. How arrogant they are. Some are. But nobody ever told me what number they are at 144,000. Men, what gate you going through? North, south, east, and west. 3 of the tribes on each side. Each direction. We don't know. That's why we got to humble ourselves. You say, dare not make thyself one of the number. But don't make people think that they're going to be there already. You can't make that judgment. None of you. We cannot make that judgment call. How many people I know that's been in the troops that's out? That ain't even dealing with it no more. That heard it and still doing the things that are abominable to the Most High. But they want to know who the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Should be able to know what I need to do to make it. And the Mashiach said, called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them and said, verily, truly, I say unto you, except ye be converted. Except you be converted. That means you got to change, people. You got to change and become as a little child, as little children, is saying, excuse me. Little children are innocent. Ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Not all of them, because some are going to be put to death. because some of them wicked. But the majority of the little children are innocent. They just be around their environment, whatever it is that they can see, change them up to be that way. Some are born that way, though. That's why I say I must bring that out, because some little children got to be put to death. I'm gonna read it to you so you don't think I'm just trying to be mean and deliberate. This is what he said. Ezekiel 9:4. Ezekiel 9:4. And the Most High said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? So that's the men that's crying for all the wickedness and the abominations that's amongst us as the Israelites that we got to deal with. And to the others, he said in mine hearing, that's the ones that's keeping this truth, learning to live and apply it in their life. The ones that have this mark in their head, foreheads, in their minds. And to the others, he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. That means kill. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. He says, slay utterly, old and young. So old people and young people will be put to death. Both maids, that's young women, and little children. There it is. And little children. And women. Little children and women going to be put to death. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And begin at my sanctuary. Begin with us, the Israelites. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Ancient men, you're going to start with first. So don't get it twisted. It's a balance here. And you see the Most High bringing a balance out within this lesson. Because it's not prepared. So I give all grace and all praise and glory to the Most High. Going back to Matthew 18. Who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Should be want to know how can I, just like, matter of fact, look at what the rich man asked him. In Matthew 19 and 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? That's what they should be asking. What do I have to do to have eternal life? Like he asked. And he said to them, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments that y'all say we're not under. The commandments. And he started naming off the ones that pertain to love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? Because we got to love the Most High with all our heart, mind, and soul, and strength, and love thy neighbor as thyself. All the commandments are based upon how we love the Most High by doing what he say do, and how we love each other as the Israelites. That's why he said in Matthew 18:3, and said, verily I say to you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right? Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, I show myself, I will shout the name, and no one shall receiveth me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, so people don't understand clearly what he's saying here. He said, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me wholeheartedly, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. That's a serious statement. Because do you know who is a little one? Or you can make that call. That's why you got to be aware. Be aware. Pay attention. That's why you got to humble yourself. so that you're not caught up in this. 1 John 5 and 3. What's the love of the Most High? 1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. You see? So, how do you form your lips to say you don't have to keep the commandments? When he gave us the commandments are laws, and he gave us 613 laws. He gave us moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws. That's why even in, go to Hebrews 8 and 8. Look. Because I was asked the other day, are we under the new covenant? And I replied, are we still teaching each other to know the Most High? Are you in a class now, all you that can hear my voice in my class, learning of the Most High? Yes. And you out there that can hear my voice, you learning about the Most High. You learned some about the Most High tonight, a whole lot about the Most High tonight. But listen to what it says. Hebrews 8 and 8. For finding fault with them, meaning the Israelites, who we are, he said, behold, the days come, this is the future, said the Most High, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. That's the northern tribes and the southern tribes, making up the 12 tribes of Israel. Not according to the covenant. A covenant is a contract or agreement that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. He gave us his laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments. Because they continued not in my covenant. We didn't continue in the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments. And I regarded them not by giving us to these other nations. He said he sold us to our enemies. You see? Said the Most High. This is what it says. For this is the covenant, the contract of agreement that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Most High. I will put my laws in their mind. So he'll put his laws in our mind and write them in their hearts. He's going to write them in our minds. And will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. Listen, this is key right here. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor. This is a key point here. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor. Am I not teaching right now? And they shall not teach every man his neighbor. They ain't answer. They couldn't answer me. Because it's there's this new covenant, he said, there shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High. Know the Most High. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Hear that? Everybody gonna know the Most High, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. That ain't now. In that he said, a new covenant, he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxes old is ready to vanish away. No, we're not there because we teach it. He says, verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, saying, know the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Know the Most High. See, that's his name forever and more to all generations. But all shall know me. Do everybody know the Most High now? From the least to the greatest. That's why I tell y'all, this is all about him. He gonna be all in all. Let me leave you with this for right now. Go to 1 Corinthians 15 and 24. Listen. It say, then cometh the end of this world we in now, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. So you're not of the 12 tribes of Israel. The Most High in this Bible is not your power. Then cometh the end of this world, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. He's going to take down all power, rulership, and authority on this earth. We already read about it in 2 Ezra 13, where we started, right? It's ain't going to be nothing but what? Dust and smell of smoke when they come up against him. When he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. As he putting all enemies under his feet 1,000 years, we're going to be learning of the Most High. That's why I say everybody going to know him, from the least to the greatest. So much like I'm shy ain't taught us yet. We know in part, prophesy in part. But when he teach us, we're going to know the whole thing. Ain't going to be no part here, the part there. Going to be the whole. We're going to have 4/4. That's one whole of everything. He going to teach us of everything that we don't know. That's why it says, for he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. That's why David said in Psalms 110:1, the Most High have set it to my power. David understood that Mashiach was his power. He was Mashiachim. King David was Mashiachim. He said, the Most High have said it to my power, sit thee on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Here it is. For he must reign, verse 25, till he have put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. No more death. That means life eternally. For he have put all things under his feet. But when he said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted. That's the Most High, which did put all things under him, right? That's when the least to the greatest gonna know of the Most High. When you hear? But when he said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. That's the Most High. That's what they're going to know him from the least to the greatest. You got to teach about the Most High no more. But I want to share something with you before we just end this right here about you got to be converted, right? And I had to learn this because everybody not going to be converted. I had to just learn to drop it and see who's going to really want to be saved from the enemies and be saved from the hand of all that hate them, because this ain't for everybody. Look, Mashiach Shai gave a parable, because remember he said you got to be converted like the little child into the kingdom of heaven. But this ain't for everybody. He don't want everybody to be converted. So don't get twisted when our people are not coming into this truth. You'll learn, because he's telling you. In Mark the 4th chapter, he says, some fell by the wayside, some fell among thorns, some fell among stony ground, and some fell among good ground, right? So my purpose here is to show you that he don't want everybody to be converted. Like I said, it's just the lesson been going like this way, humble, and then hardcore too. So let's keep it real. Mark 4:9. After he said that, Mark 4:9, and he said unto them, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. So he was talking to a multitude of people. out on the ship, and they on the shoreline. That's how strong his voice is. So some had enough sense to come up to 12 knowing that they're hanging out with him to ask him what he was talking about. Some fell him out on the wayside, some fell him on thorns, some fell him on stony ground, some fell him on good ground. What are you talking about? That's a parable, that's a riddle. In other words, verse 11, and he said to them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High. It's a mystery, a secret, something unknown. The kingdom of the Most High. But unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, right? So first and foremost, who's going to be without? Go to Matthew, hold that, get Matthew 22:15. Matthew 22:15. Who's without? For without, this is the kingdom of the Most High, without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. They ain't going to be in the kingdom of the Most High. Let you know. Without. Those that are without, that's what he's talking about. Going back to Mark, the 4th chapter, verse 11. And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High. But unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables. Why? Riddles. Why? That seeing they may see and not perceive. That's why you wonder why they looking at it, they can't understand this. They reading the same thing, but they won't perceive it. It said, and hearing they may hear and not understand. They're hearing what's coming out, but they won't understand it. That's why it's such a blessing for you to hear this and really understand it. Listen to what he's saying. Least at any time in their life, he's saying, they should be converted. And their sins should be forgiven them. And you know, he don't want everybody to be saved. He don't want everybody to be converted. He don't want everybody's sins to be forgiven them. That's why he said in 2 Ezra 9:22, he said, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. He got a number of people that's born in vain. We can't stop that. He said, let my grape and my plant be kept. With great labor have I made it perfect. You see? That's the power we serve. Same for everyone. Hear what he said? That seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. Woo. That's deep, man. Right? You see, I bet you be like this little child, be converted and be like this little child, right? But he don't want everybody to be converted. It ain't you. It ain't up to you or me or anyone else to convert them. We just messengers. It behooves everybody that hear my voice and hear these truths to want to learn this truth sincerely before it's too late. So that shows you everybody gonna be converted. Going back to where we at in 1 Corinthians 15th chapter. Now that we all rolling in love. 1 Corinthians 15 and 24 again. It says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. Mashiach Yahushua, as he come to judge and make war. For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. Look, Revelation 19:11. I done called it out. Let's look at it. And I saw heaven open. He looked, he saw heaven open. And behold, a white horse. That white horse represents righteous power. And he that sat upon it was called faithful and true. And in righteousness, this is Mashiach Yahushua. He does judge and make war. We read about it in 2nd Ezra 13. We read about him in this lesson. Coming back to it. 2nd Ezra 13 and 37. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, the fire, right? Let's continue. Revelation 19, 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and his head is on his head were many crowns, powers and authority going to be given to him, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture, that's his clothes, dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. So it just said all his clothes going to be dipped in blood. Tells you who blood in Isaiah 63rd chapter. The Edomites. It say, because Esau is the end of the world, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So the army that's followed him are the angels. It tells you in Revelation 9:16, the number of them that's coming with him, number of the angels that's coming with him in Revelation 9:16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. I heard the number of them, 200 million angels, right? Verse 14 of Revelation 19th chapter, in the armies, 200 million angels, which were in heaven, followed him upon white horses, pure righteous power, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So these angels are going to be in white linen, not butt naked angels, but white linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it, with this sharp sword coming out of his mouth, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. So look, Hebrews 4 and 12, so y'all get an understanding here. Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. See? Slice you this way, slice you that way. Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart, right? So now, just showing you how this all go together through the Spirit of the Most High. Revelation 19 and 15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. That's the word of the Most High, that with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's the law of the Most High. There's a rod of iron, he's going to beat them with a rod of iron. They're going to be finished. But he's going to rule them by the law. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power. So 2nd Ezra 13 and 37, as we started, we could pretty much end. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, fire, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented. What did he say? Revelation 19:15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, kill the nations. Verse 38 of 2nd Ezra 13, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor by the law. See? By the law, which is like unto fire. See? So, as it is written. He gonna come in the fierceness and wrath of the Most High power. So now going back to 1 Corinthians 15:24, it says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. When all the armies, the navies, the marines, the air forces, we read in 2 Ezra 13 and 11, ain't gonna be nothing but dust and smell of smoke. For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. Right? The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. That means we're going to live to be immortal. No more death. That's the last enemy. So people are going to be dying until this last enemy is done away with, which is death. Most High will. It'll be us. For he have put all things under his feet. But when he said all things are put under him, under Mashiach Yahushua, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. That's the Most High. That's why y'all better learn to give glory to the Most High. Praise the Most High. Hello, Most High. And when all things shall be subdued under him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him. That is the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, that the Most High may be all in all. That's what this is about. That the Most High may be all in. That's why he say from the least to the greatest. We got to teach the Most High, people of the Most High. Got to teach about the Most High. From the least to the greatest, they all gonna know of the Most High. When all this go down, and we learn through a Mashiach Yahushua, in that 1,000 years he putting everybody in subjected to himself, then he gonna be subject to the Most High. The Most High gonna be all in all. That's when immortality is gonna come. And I hope that was edifying for you. We're gonna continue on this because I just touched the surface on what I was supposed to be going into, but I just follow the Spirit. All praise the Most High, and I'm out. Shalom.